Alright, hello. It's this Sinister Game Beginner with a new stream. And this stream I'll be doing my GTA 9 event week stream for this week. First week in Grand Theft Auto Online. That started on like very early Thursday. But yeah, started my first prediction, so if I'm saying weird shit, that's why. But yes, along with many along with many other YouTubers that did video on like the GTA Online Santos Mercenaries DLC. Brand new summer DLC was hinted at with a newswire like a couple days ago, coming out on June 13th. Very cool new looking fighter jet, for one example. That's going to be coming out in the summer of the year. Yeah, has high usage for the Avenger as well, so the Avenger is going to be like significantly expanded too. Very cool aerial up the here, no doubt. For more details, I have a whole video on it and stuff. What are you doing? It's almost 6 in the morning right now. God damn it. And it's that's for that, just probably the plus thing apparently. Yes, start off with the title. There is 2 times money in RP on the time trial. So time trial, instead of paying like around 100,000, will pay like around $200,000 instead. But you can only do it one time, basically. I'm not sure if you can do it a second time with your second character, to be honest. If you can, then that would maybe be like 400,000, kind of. But for one character, it's basically 200,000. At least on 9th gen, especially the regular time trials are pretty easy. Definitely pretty easy as well, I would say on 8th gen as well, if you use the right stuff. I'll go in more details like I usually do later on when I first boot the game and whatnot. But Hanger discount, 20% off of Hangers, upgrades, modifications. But yeah, with the information they showed with the Santos Mercenaries DLC, it's going to involve like Charlie Reed. Charlie Reed is your like hanger mechanic. So the hanger is probably going to be very involved with the next update for sure. So a 20% off discount, something as small as that, should not be surprising then. They might have done more massive discounts on the hanger before they revealed this next update coming out. So it makes sense it's as low as 20%. And hanger is already very damn worth it. Hanger is one of the best spawning properties in the game among all other kinds of things beyond customized aircrafts. Certain aircrafts can only be stored in a hangar as well, and not as a Pegasus vehicle. So hangar is definitely one of the most useful properties in the entire game, and it's just going to be getting expanded even further. You'll even be able to store the new Avenger. You'll even be able to store the existing Avenger there once the update comes out too. So even though it is 20%, I'm definitely going to highly recommend it just because of the upcoming update. And even then, with all the stuff it already has. And yeah, upgrade modification, it's pretty much mainly the hangar like workshop. You mainly want the hangar workshop. I think you also need like an accommodation upgrade or something, I think, as well to spawn in the property though. You definitely want to be able to have it as a spawn location as well, so make sure you get that upgrade too. Those are the main 2 upgrades to prioritize, definitely. And then 2 times money RP on stockpile. Stockpile, I don't think this adversary mode was in the game for a while. I think it's just brought back for the month of June. And it will probably be vaulted again. It will probably be removed from the game again once July hits, since it's kind of a monthly thing they do in the games for like the last couple years now. So if you want to play a very limited time mode, it's mainly the main incentive to play it, really. So as for that, as an adversary mode, it's a pause menu thing. Most pause menu stuff don't get you very good money, including this. You're probably not making very good money from this. Depending on like amount of rounds, amount of time, and like the all lasts and whatnot, like amount of players, stuff like that. I would say maybe a couple 100,000 at most, and that's probably for like an hour of your time, even usually as well. But yeah, definitely not the greatest thing. By the way, the time travel thing is not the best thing on Money Opportunity. I figure I should mention that right now. I already did the title for the data leaks, whatever data leak seems to be on it 2 times as well, which is like a $2 million Dr. Dre contract thing, whatever. It's basically like a 2-hour like series of like missions and stuff that gets you like a $2 million payout at the end. It's very damn good. It's a very damn good money opportunity, so I would highly recommend that personally. I'll say that right now. I might mention more on it later on. And yeah, I'm not really sure if its delivery was brand new. I kind of feel I remember them releasing it in the past. It might just be a re-release of a delivery that they previously did. I forget. So I didn't know if it was worth like the week whatever editions, so it's actually a small thing of new content or not. That's why I just went with like the event week stream title, not like my week whatever editions when there's something more significant in the game. Okay, very boring like benefit section here. It's not even much for the rest of the event in there, unfortunately this time. Make sure there's no labels on any stuff while I'm in here. Alright. Time to get into the actual game itself here. Let's talk about the rest of the stuff. Wait, did I completely forget to talk about like the first square? I kind of forget, to be honest. Oh wait, no, first square was that Avenger delivery, and that's right. Okay, does seem new actually. But yeah, sorry if my like voice was so shit at the beginning. Fucking pro shit there, unfortunately. God damn it. I think after that initial section, it got much better now, so everything else should have been pretty clear now. At this current moment. His stash house over here might be doing that right now and then. Yeah, it's almost becoming time where I want to be selling all that stash house stuff for the updates, because I'm almost at 15 million already now. It would be kind of cool to have more for next update and stuff. Or like spend for more rides in the 50 car garage or something. I don't know if you know over 50 million. I start spending for stuff in my 50 car garage from the update, and I've not really added much to do. Gotta put more stuff in there. For stuff I mean to put in there, since early on in Drug Wars there wasn't like garage property since they started dripping and shit. I have to get back some vehicles and get rid of the fours since they were putting that fucking shit in the four. I got assassinated. Actually, was not expecting to get that. I gotta find a new finger. That's that. 73, 27, 38. Pretty sure that was it, yes. Remembered it exactly without much of a glimpse of forgetting, honest. Alright, wheat farm. I feel I got wheat farm literally like my last 3 times doing this shit. Literally, I think I got wheat farm literally the last 3 fucking times. Oh well. It is what it is, I guess. Alright, but yes, time for time travels here. First of all, with the 2 times money RP1 to start off is Fort Zancudo. I believe it's when you go to Fort Zancudo over to like Bonwood Hill here or something. I think over here and for sure. But you're having to go into the hills a lot and whatnot, so I would most definitely think that there's definitely a lap time priority here, no doubt. So yes, you most definitely will want to prioritize that lap time. pretty much the number one like time trial vehicle in my opinion for the 9th gen definitely goes to HSW Hostile Drag. Regular and HSW Hostile Drags. What's nice about those motorcycles is you can actually land forward with the stick, I believe, for the best possible speed, and it's not backward with the stick as it is for like 90-95% of vehicles where you kind of risk doing a wheelie. And like falling off a bike, possibly. So for sure, HSW Hostile Drag, if you haven't mentioned, system is definitely my main recommendation for really any time trial in the game. Regular or HSW. If not, then on 8th gen, the regular version is pretty great as well. But only for 8th gen. And then, yeah, HSW supercars. There's HSW Weaponized Ignis. Though I think as a Chrono Enterprise, you cannot use that one anymore. Unfortunately for HSW supercars, it is the main lap time focus, so unfortunately if you can use that, then unfortunately you are kind of out of a great lap time HSW vehicle, for supercar class in particular at least. Not that other ones are like entirely bad per se, but the Weaponized Ignis I think is the main one for lap time for HSW supercars. It's like if you're not using a motorcycle, I would probably recommend using a supercar for the most part. There's the HSW not Devastate, I'll mention that later actually. There's the HSW NTMT, the newest HSW NTMT for the supercar class HSW vehicles in the drug war update. Fortunately, that one is really shit when it comes to lap time, so probably not going to be too great for this one. But it is one of your better top speed options if there's good enough ways to get much advantage over top speed by any chance in this time trial. And yeah, again, if you're on 8th gen somewhere with regular Hostile Drag, you can substitute for the regular NTNT and you can get some pretty nice top speed for 8th gen, where you don't have HSW. And then there's the Coil Cyclone 2 HSW. That one could be pretty alright for lap time, which is definitely nice. Not very good for top speed though, but I feel on a time trial like this you wouldn't really need the top speed too much. Instead, the main advantage when it's not top speed, because the Coil Cyclone 2 is actually an electric car, that means it actually has a focus on acceleration, which is how quick you get the top speed. So even though the top speed is definitely on the lower end when it comes to HSW vehicles in particular, it gets to be real quick. And if you were put to stop in HSW Coil Cyclone 2, then you can get right up to speed pretty much instantaneously, which you can't really say for too much of the other ones per se. That take a lot longer to get their top speeds. So the Coil Cyclone 2 could be an interesting one here, perhaps. And then, last HSW supercar I believe is HSW Devastate 8, which is pretty much the best top speed option you could use for HSW supercar, but it does also have some pretty good lap time as well. So it could be pretty nice on this one where there's kind of a lap time focus for sure as well, and it provides a nice top speed. And yeah, 8th gen you can substitute for regular Devastate kind of as well. Say on 8th gen you can use a regular Devastate kind of effectively as well. And then there's two pretty damn good HSW vehicles from the Chrono Enterprise DLC. And that is HSW Sterling GT. And then the HSW Vigera ZX for the 2 for the Colonel Enterprise DLC. The thing about those is they're some of the best top speeds of the entire game if you are on a 9-gen system with those HSW upgrades. Sterling GT, I probably wouldn't use the regular one for 8th-gen though. Supercars and like motorcycles I feel like you use pretty well on 8th-gen where you don't have HSW for the non-HSW ones. But Sterling GT, it could be pretty good for the Sport Classic class in 8th-gen for the regular one, but I probably wouldn't really use it or regular control on a regular Sterling GT. I would only power Sterling GT as an HSW for 9th-gen. And the HSW Vigera ZX apparently is pretty much the best top speed of the entire game. I don't think it got dethroned at all in Drug War. Because apparently those like HSW vehicles were nowhere near as impressive apparently. So that's pretty much all the options I want to mention for 9th gen, where it's a lot more obvious with this HSW upgrades, what they use and whatnot. For 8th gen is where it gets a bit more complicated. We have for motorcycle, I already mentioned the regular hot contract for 8th gen. Nagasaki Yotaro Tron bike, that like $2.2, $2.3 million Tron bike is definitely a very nice option. That one you can actually do forward or backward with the stick from what I've heard for that best possible speed. Another one like that, that's actually the only electric motorcycle in the game, is actually the Western Power Surge or whatever, like the newest motorcycle edition from the Drug War DLC. Western Power Surge is pretty nice. And even though it is electric, it's actually within top 10 apparently for top speed, which is pretty respectable for an electric vehicle in particular. It's actually very respectable for your average electric vehicle, where it's usually much worse placements for top speed. And it's definitely very good for lap time. And yeah, I think just like the Shitaro, I think I've heard with the Power Surge, you can do forward or backward with that stick for the best possible speed for your left stick. And then, yeah, for a pretty budget option that only costs $15,000 for the actual vehicle, and then for any performance upgrades, probably under like $500,000 for sure. You have something from like 2013 known as the Pegassi Body 801 that's pretty okay for time trials. That can be pretty okay to decent in time trials even. But again, it is a budget option. I think it's like as low as like 5th place lap time or 5th place top speed these days. So I think it's still within top 5 for both lap time and top speed even on 9th gen. Probably even a tad better on 8th gen, just like 4th and 4th or some shit. And then for a couple of top speed ones I want to mention the Western Reaver from like the contract DLC. I believe that's almost a $2 million motorcycle from 2021 with the contract DLC. That's pretty much your best top speed option for sure on 8th gen. From what I've heard, it's been actually better top speed than like HSW Hot Rod Drag, which apparently has more of a lap time focus over top speed focus. So even on 9th gen, the Western Reaver for contract DLC could be good for top speeds if you can somehow get used out that much on this one. Today it is mainly a lap time control, so I probably wouldn't really focus too much on that one this time. And there's a pretty interesting one this time that could be pretty interesting, even though it is a top speed focus. And that will be the My Botsy Manchester Scowl from the Cayo Perico Heist DLC. That one is known to be pretty damn nice for top speed, kind of the second best top speed option for a regular motorcycle, not counting HSW for those on 8th gen. And my Botsy Manchester Scowl is actually like their bike as well. Fortunate Kudo being your prow going to be going off-road in the hills and stuff, then my Botsy Manchester Scowl could be a very interesting option, even though it's mostly top speed focused. And not as much for the lap time. That one could definitely have some pretty nice utility. Similar to your like electric vehicles you can use. I mentioned with the Cyclone 2, HSW, and then Power Surge. And then yeah, for supercar class, for 8th gen, I think for 8th gen it's pretty much the Progen Emerus, the Benefactor Krieger, and then the Benefactor LM87. The first two I mentioned are from the Damasceno Resort DLC, and like the last one there, LM87 from Criminal Enterprise. That's from Criminal Enterprise, yes. Did not mention that until just recently here. That's pretty much your top couple, like, lap time options for supercar class, from what I remember, for 8th gen. And then for some top speed options, if you somehow can get some use out of those. Number 1 top speed for 8th gen pretty much goes to the P-Fisser 811, pretty old supercar, actually from like mid-2016 from the Finance and Felony DLC. That's pretty much your number 1 top speed for 8th gen for supercar. And yeah, I already mentioned like you can use the regular like Entity MT, and you can use the regular Deficit 8 where you don't have like HSW options for 8th gen. And like aside from that, pretty much the Banshee 900R, like the Benny's original motor work upgrade from the sport car Banshee to the super class Banshee 900R. The supercar version of the Banshee is one of your best top speeds for supercar class in 8th gen, apparently. So that should provide a ton of possible good options, maybe for time trial there. We're at 2 times money in RP time trial this time around for 200,000, so like 100,000. So it's double is worth doing. By the way, I think I forgot to mention RC being due to time trial last time, but last time I think it was Vespucci Beach. But yes, this time around it's a construction site too. But yes, of course, somebody in my real life isn't away right now, so I'll be doing a regular time trial here right now, at least for the moment. Ass fucking back from all in my fucking house and shit, I have to deal with and shit. Or it's not my house, it's someone else's house I'm living in, but still. Some people just don't know how to buy a good fucking house, apparently. Alright, yes, I pretty much got the exact location correct here. There's actually even Junk Energy Skydive, which is actually on a money opportunity as well. I might do that afterward too. Fuck it. That could get me to a better place to get back to the casino or some shit. Really in this time of all things. Bruh. Having to run first try, this one's pretty annoying for that draw actually. I feel personally honest. Oh my god, wow. But yes, shitty obnoxious older brother out the fucking way now, so I can actually kind of fucking do my typical shit I want to do here right now. Let's save this perhaps for a little later. Get more route down and shit. See, the house I live in has a shitty fucking infrastructure, fucking bathroom hallway between my room and their fucking room is irritating as fucking hell. And the bathroom more than an ordinary fucking person ever is. For stupid shit, like spit and shit, like, hell. Yes, RC Bandito trial construction site 2. The very first time trial for RC Bandito is construction site 1. So since it's kind of based on the first time trial, it could honestly be one of the easier RC Bandito time trials in some sense, I feel. I don't know, for all that elevation and stuff, I do feel it could actually be some of the worst ones as well. But yeah. You can only use one vehicle, the RC Bandito, as the name would suggest. You can't even use like the evade and persuade tank. You can't even use that one. They didn't add that later down the line as an option, unfortunately. They're very uninteresting, and unfortunately, it still only pays 100,000 for the 1 week here. I wish RC Bandito had like a 200,000 as well, but yeah. Something coming out actually in the San Andreas Mercenaries DLC might explain the 2 times on the control this week. I kind of want to explain that here. Of course, I kind of explained a lot of that all in a separate video, but I think the time trials on 2 times money and RP this week because they're actually going to turn the time trials into a daily thing. It sounds like, according to the San Andreas Mercenaries, like quality of life change section, whatever the hell. It sounds like they're going to be turning them to daily now, at least for regular. The rest might stay the same though, I don't know. I could see our Bandito becoming daily as well, so it's like the same exact payout. HSW ones pay like 250,000 though, so I wouldn't be surprised if they don't do those daily now. So I could explain the time trial and then 2 times money RP. But yeah, besides for just learning on the corner on this and whatnot, which you can easily do constantly, like restarting it and whatnot, eventually you should get those corners down and stuff. It's not too interesting, you only get to use the 1 RC data thing, so I'm not going to really have any advice on this personally. But for those that want to know what it is, that's what it is. And HSW time trial to start on a specific bus. As it goes from here all the way to the El Cordo Lighthouse.
Seriously.
Especially early on, it's going to be kind of lap time heavy, I would say, but more near the end, definitely top speed heavy with the highway and stuff. And yeah, kind of gave my main 7 options I would recommend for the HSW time trials. When I talked about the regular ones, I talked about 7 different HSW vehicles. 1 motorcycle, I mentioned like 3-4 supercars, and then I mentioned like the dude from the Colonel Enterprise DLC are some of your best options you can do, I feel. But yeah, you may notice unlike the other time trials, there's no part-time on HSW time trials though. So unlike the other time trials, for the regular time trials, you can really use anything you want and you can be pretty successful. So you might as well have fun with whatever vehicle you like want to use. For sure the easiest one would definitely be HSW Hawktail Drag though, since it takes nowhere near the space of a car. But yeah, you can use any HSW you want, and the part-time's determined on like the class of vehicle, not like a general part-time. So it gives a lot more freedom on that. Very nice. And premium race for the week is for the supercar class. I already mentioned all kind of supercar stuff already for regular time trial, whether on 9th gen or 8th gen for lap time or top speed. So from there, all you really need to know is, unfortunately, they did take out the ability to see the map before you do the premium race, like go into the lobby. I think on this pause menu, you used to be able to see the map of the race even, but they took that out like a year or so ago. Regardless, just go into the premium race, and you should be able to press like square, I believe like X on the Xbox, and then whatever key is on PC, and you should be able to see like the map of the premium race. Now for the most part, it's probably going to be lap time. I feel most races tend to be lap time heavy, because obviously most stuff can be in the city where we'll have some kind of corner at all. Only thing that would be super top speed heavy would be like an airport runway, like Fort Santo runway, any sort of like aerial like runway kind of thing, or like a highway, really pretty niche stuff like that. Really would be the only cases you would probably mainly want to prioritize top speed. So it's probably going to be lap time most likely. Huh.
We going to that swinger party?
Alright. This is not time trial, but this is a podium vehicle here. That's definitely the Drift Tampa. Yeah, it's totally Drift Tampa. It's not a very great vehicle, unfortunately. I'll explain that from what I definitely remember on it.
How can I help you? And here are your chips.
It's not that the vehicle, like model or anything itself is terrible. It's like it's classing. This in I'll give here. But no. Cyan Manor sweater. Have a vast majority of like all the clothing in the actual clothing store aside for like 2021, 2022, like 2023, I think. So probably already have them. Alright, yes, it is the Drift Tampa. Just making sure I'm in Rockstar Newswire. Seriously out of fun. Almost. Really? Oh, of course, how he gets busted.
This is a civilian hangar owner. Give them access to the base.
Alright, get my weed farms full. LGD, motherfucker. Oh my god. Oh my god, just barely. Wow. Stay out of my fucking way. was having to do time trial extra ass fucking early because I'm being my fucking way all fucking day. 100,000 for the arcade now. Full, so that's nice. See, I sorry it's taking an hour to get to the fucking podium. It's in my fucking way all the fucking time. Alright, so I was so rudely interrupted for like 21 minutes fucking straight apparently. Now I can finally talk about the fucking podium vehicle here. Things on this website, so I'm just browse here. Definitely swear on it. Is that actually legendary? Oh, here it is, okay. Class A Drift Tampa. I was like, it's Thorn, it's over there. Okay, yeah. It is from the Cunning Stunts DLC. Which means on the website, you usually have to choose between two liveries. I actually did not notice if it comes with a livery or not. To take off a livery, pretty much you have to like modify that in the mod shop. But yes, as I was saying earlier, the main problem with this vehicle is the classing. It's not necessarily a terrible vehicle if it wasn't the proper class, perhaps. Though it might still be, because it's a drifting vehicle, not like a performance-heavy vehicle per se, but... Alright, again, document forgeries full as well, GG. Get that in weed and get it. Probably been doing that every fucking stream for a while now. But yeah, Drift Tampa. If you know anything about the regular Tampa, you would know the regular Tampa is pretty much in the muscle car class from like the 2015 like festive surprise or some shit, I think it was. This one on the other hand is in the sport class, which is quite the weird classing. You would think that Tampa, like of any kind, would be in the muscle car class or some shit, but nope. It's in the sport class, which means it's a G tier. So like I was saying, the classing is very odd for this vehicle. G tier, which makes it 79th place per lap time out of like the 100 sport cars in the game. And top speed's not much better at only 77. So you're not getting good sport performance at all, because quite frankly it does not really belong in the fucking class. Okay, it does seem to still have a livery on it. So you're not saving the extra little bit. So you're not saving the extra little bit of it not having a livery, which is how this kind of stun vehicles work. It comes with a livery, but then you have to remove it afterward. whereas most it's kind of the other way around. There's something I kind of forgot to mention here. I was so pissed as fuck someone kept being in my fucking way constantly. But yeah. As of like contract DLC or something, they actually had the ability to be able to put the low grip tires on a lot of different vehicles in the game. Initially with the Santos tuners, the low grip tires were actually limited to the tuner vehicles. I think the update after with contract update or some shit, they added the ability to do low grip tires on just about anything. Therefore, you can actually make the drift tamp into a drifting vehicle as of the last couple of years, whereas before it wasn't too much of a drifter. But now, since there's dedicated drift tires in the game that you can put on this vehicle in the last couple of years, it can be a lot more of a drifter. So it can be nice if you want a fun like drifting vehicle, but otherwise not worth the spinning of the podium, to be honest. But yeah, honestly, at least that time where someone is in my way, at least fucking got that time trial done, so I don't have to do it later, so it's nice. But it's 3 times money RP. But yeah, test rides. Looks to be the Sentinel Classic for Sport Class. Here in Calco GTF for Sport Class, and then, well, actually all of them are Sport Class. And the Apache Spectre for Sport Class, but that one will be 30% off. But Calco GTF, Sentinel Classic are full price. And then the Apache Spectre is discount price for 30% off. Looks like right now that's 419,300, which is not very much. Very damn affordable. So I'll start off with the Spectre here. But yeah, Spectre, the one on discount here. For Sport Class, it is in the C tier, going off of roughly 1322 spreadsheet. if I did not credit him earlier, that's because someone was rolling my fucking way and shit. Yeah, any credits to the spreadsheet, it's perfect 152, racing YouTuber, Spectre, since C tier for sport class. It apparently gets 40th place for lap time, and then it gets 32nd place for top speed. Nothing impressive. I feel like outside top 10, especially for something as huge as a sport class, it's not really too impressive. Something that is impressive, though. Little preview had some discounts there, apparently. Yeah, Spectre is one of those handful of vehicles that's on the Benny's original Motorworks, where you can get a custom version of the vehicle, which gives it a whole fuck ton more customizations. That's very good. So that's a selling point, at least. Not so much the performance. For those wondering, for the custom performance, it goes to like 38th place instead of 40th place at lap time. And then only like 31st for like top speed. Only moves up like 2 and like 1 placements from the basic vehicle as performance. So you really want to ever one of the most customizable sport cars in the entire game, which is quite a good reason to get it. But yes, you're only getting it for the basic vehicle on discount here. You're not getting the upgrade price on discount for Benny's though, so keep that in mind. Onto the Karen Calico GTF. It is actually one of the, yes, moving on to Calico GTF, it is actually one of the, 17, 20 tuner vehicles in the game at this point. Which means you can use it in street races, pursuit races, and robbery contracts. Some pretty particular contents in the game. This one's actually pretty damn good, apparently, for your street races, pursuit races. It's pretty average for lap time and top speed for both. Being one of the sport tuners is definitely one of the better highlights for the street races, pursuit races. Main weakness to it would probably be robbery contracts. Yes. Main weakness would most definitely be those robbery contracts. Probably. That it seems it doesn't have something to protect the back window with, like rear louvers or something now. If you can protect yourself from certain bullets in robbery contracts too, with like the rear louvers and shit, then it's pretty good there too, technically. I would say it's mainly for street races, pursuit races though. You'd probably be better off with something like the Jester RR, which is like the #1 top speed, and it has rear louvers. Jester RR is probably your best option for the robbery contracts, I would say. Yeah, very nice for your street races, pursuit races. It could be a tuner subclass race. Could actually be a tuner subclass vehicle worth picking up. And last but not least, Supermod Sentinel Classic here. Even though it does have Classic in the name, it is in a sport class. One of those with Classic in the name, they actually put it in a different class. And usually those don't do so good. Not going to go into exact numbers. Not going into exact numbers though, since it's not on a discount. If we're on discount, I would talk about exact performance numbers, but it's not. But it's probably pretty trash. But just like the Spectre, it does have a customized example. Therefore, it becomes one of the most customizable vehicles of the game.
What's that?
The Spectre on discount for a Benny's vehicle. If you're big on Benny's, can be very nice for sure. Otherwise, it's not worth. Calico GTF can actually be a pretty nice full price option again for street races, pursuit races. Right, prize ride challenge for the week here, the BF Weevil. That is actually in the like compact class or something, I believe. Pretty interesting costume for the regular Weevil, which is the one on the prize ride. Prize ride challenge involves the pursuit race apparently, and that's placed top 1 for 3 days in a row. Yikes, that's a pretty strict challenge there. Pursuit races require 4 players, and you gotta place top 1. Not only that, but 3 days in a row. Yikes. But yeah, 1 out of 4, that's a 25% chance apparently. But yeah, 1 out of 4, that's essentially a 25% chance of getting that first place each time. And then you also have to do it 3 days in a row. If playing with randoms, it'll probably take at least a couple races, I would say, each day, maybe. Depending on like luck and shit. Unless you got a couple friends to play with or something, then like honestly it's not gonna be very easy. If you have a couple friends where you can like switch turns of them and like who wins and shit pretty easily, then sure. That's quite the inconvenience that I would have to do to make the challenge a breeze though. So how much do you save on the Weevil then? I think initially it was kind of pretty good ice on Stern Center trades, but it's also Benny's as well. Okay, on a trade price you save upwards of 870,000. Or for buy it now price you save like 870,000 at least. And at least 652,500 on the trade price. How do you get that trade price? I mean, it's like the DJ request missions or something. The weird thing about it though is you actually get the vehicle for free when you do the exact same DJ request missions though. You get 1 for free, so you basically just buy it if you want multiples, which is actually more useful now with the Weevil custom being a thing. Like, it's not that expensive anyways, you might as well probably just buy it, to be honest. But nevertheless, it's something you can win if you think you can do it, though. You can easily make like 1,000,000 plus on like a Caprico heist in an hour plus. I know it's been hella nerfed and shit, but 1,000,000 per hour is still a good like basis for like a good amount of money you could make per hour. And yeah, there's the Dr. Dre like data leak thing for like 2 million for like a couple hours of your time right now, so hard to really recommend going for the prize ride challenge, to be honest. You might as well just buy the vehicle. And yeah, it's one of those again that's on Benny's, so you get one of your most customizable vehicles here. Maple custom here. It goes from the compact class over to the muscle car class, which is pretty cool. Unlike Spectre in the Sentinel class, it changes class. It's tight as fuck. It actually becomes one of the best muscle cars in the game as well. One of the best performing muscle cars in the game when you do that. And yeah, HSW test ride Grotti Brioso RA. Believe it's the only compact HSW vehicle in the game. It's a pretty unique classing. That's pretty much all I'm going for it, to be honest. I would say it's a pretty unique classing though.
Catch you on the other side.
So because it's the only one in the class, it's definitely an easy recommendation there. But yeah, pretty sure that's the only compact HSW in the game, so high recommendation there for sure. Oh man, the fruit's shit though. But yeah, HSW Bridge is already totally worth it now. My fruit's not shit anymore, I feel, for now. And yeah, there is actually a discount on the legendary, not legendary, but luxury autos. Got confused at the website for a moment. Body adder or the Pegasi Ignis. I believe there is a single discount here. Believe it goes over to the adder. Alright, yes. Alright, yes. Alright, yes. Should eat fruit again, damn it. But yeah, apparently it's the adder that goes for the discount here this time around. 700,000. That's clearly on 30% off. Even if you weren't too informed with like what was on discount, you would probably maybe remember the adder's $1 million, so 700,000 is clear 30% cut there. So how does it do for a supercar class exactly? I mean, it's a vehicle from day one of the fucking game, so it's probably not going to be good at all anymore, unfortunately. Like, top 10, like, wise, I'm in. But yes, going off of roughly 152 spreadsheet, the adder from day one of the game, that supercar, is actually in the F tier. And that makes it 52nd place for lap time. And 29th place for top speed. Not good at all.
Hey, ain't seen you down at the gym for a while. Listen, I gotta run, okay?
As for the Ignis here, not on discount, I'm not going to go into exact numbers because of that. But I can already say on 9th gen, not worth it. 9th gen, you have the one with the gun, the HSW weaponized Ignis. You can even have it as a regular model without HSW. Or like, yeah, HSW is the same model, but you can have it without HSW or with HSW for the weaponized one. That's only on the 9th gen version of the game. So 8th gen, it could kind of be worth it for personal preference kind of reasons. But even then, it wasn't in my recommendations for lap time and top speed options for the supercar class for the time trial, so it's not like top couple or like few probably even. Don't necessarily think it's even top 10 worthy anywhere necessarily. Could be somewhere, but either way, there would probably be better options. It would only for sure be worth it on 8th gen. I definitely do not recommend it 9th gen, where you have the weaponized one anyways. That gets the crazy HSW upgrade, making it the only HSW weaponized vehicle in the game. But yes, it does make it the only HSW. But yeah, it does make it the only HSW weaponized vehicle in the game for sure, yes. And yeah, I think I saw Benny's, not Benny's, I don't know why I thought Benny's, maybe because I own vehicles I can get Benny's stuff this time around. But from what I saw on the news wire, it looks like there's nothing for sale here at all on the Premium Deluxe Motorsport for a discount. So everything here apparently will be so everything here is so everything here is pretty much full price. Apparently here. Looks like the Galvanter Baller ST, without a Banshee, the Classic Gang Burrito, Nagasaki Chimera, since being a butchered it a little bit, and Dundreary Virgo Classic. So I'll talk at least a little bit about things like predictions and stuff, not like performance-wise, like number-wise. I mean, I'm not going to say exact numbers there since none are on discount. Looking in the actual discount section here just to make sure. Alright, yes. Nothing here on discount. So everything here is full price and nothing too worthwhile, and therefore for the Premium Deluxe Motorsport this time, per se. But yes, Galvanter Baller ST. That is apparently the newest baller in the game. Between all the different baller SUV versions in the game, it's the newest one from like 2021 with the contract DLC. Something about it though is it was a free vehicle though. I think when they first released it, it was a free vehicle though. To celebrate like the festive times. It was actually a free vehicle. So anything that's not free is kind of a ripoff, so do keep that in mind with this vehicle, since it was at one point free. class, only like under 700,000. It's not that expensive. Now, I do kind of think it's within top 10 for placements in SUV class. So it can be okay performance. It won't compete with some of your sportier SUVs like the P-Fixer Astron. Like a couple different versions of the P-Fixer Astron, like the regular Astron, the Astron Custom with HSW upgrade. And it won't compete with stuff like the Taurus either. They're pretty much in like the top of the class. So maybe like top 5, top 10 at best in places. I already have to do my section. That's alright. But yes. Banshee you can kind of always get for free, as long as they still sell it. I'm not sure if they still sell it, but it's called the Criminal Enterprise Starter Pack for like the dollar icon here. Criminal Enterprise Starter Pack, you get certain like cheapest business properties for free, as well as like certain vehicles for free. The Banshee is one of them. Or at least when it first came out, it was like a $40 thing. Not sure if it's like cheaper now. I know they did like certain editions that came with the Criminal Enterprise, like starter pack, whatever now. But if that's a thing, there is technically a free option for the Banshee. And yeah, I did explain earlier what the Banshee 900R. I'll show it on here as well. But yes, the Banshee has a HSW upgrade just like the Weevil, for example, having the Weevil Custom. Just like with the Weevil Custom, you do get a class conversion as well. Turns from sport car to supercar. So yes, it does turn from a sport car to a supercar. I already mentioned it's one of your better top speed options actually for the supercar class. 9th gen in particular, you do get a HSW upgrade as well actually that keeps it in the sport class. So if you're a 9th gen, it gets amazing performance when it comes to the HSW version in particular on 9th gen. 8th gen, you still have a very nice option with the Banshee 900R for performance. This one could be a very worthwhile pickup, and it's only like 100,000 if you don't have that thing anyways. This one's 24,510, I think, because of delivery though. I'd only like bump up at like another 100,000 if you don't have like the current price starter pack thing certainly. And then the classic gang burrito. Certainly, I imagine this one's in the Vans class. Yeah, certainly, I imagine this one's in the Vans class. Pretty interesting classing. Not too many vehicles get put in the Vans class. I don't remember per se if this one's like on like a higher end or a lower end performance. I don't know. You have stuff like the Rumble Custom and like the Yuga Classic 4x4 and stuff that came out after it. So I kind of think it's not like exactly top tier for a class as small as the van class per se. I think the storable version was as old as like the 2015 Heist update. I think that's when that one came out, so it's pretty old. Nagasaki Chimera. This one, without going to exact performance numbers here, right off the bat, this one's probably definitely terrible. It's a freewheeler. Having the extra wheel probably ruins performance, kind of. I imagine it's more so for like a gimmick and not for a good performance, having the extra wheel. So I think realistically it's not going to be very good performance. Like for example, you have like the BF Raptor. But yes. For example, you actually have the BF Raptor, I believe, in like the sport class that has like free wheels, and that one's not very good for the sport class. I know it's a whole different class, but Chimera would probably be the same thing. It's a free wheeler in a class that's usually two wheelers or like four wheelers. It's cool and interesting gimmick, but it's not going to mean good for performance. I probably wouldn't get that. It's only like 200,000-ish on a full price though, apparently. It's not expensive, but it's still not really necessarily too worth it now. And yeah, as you can see, the Virgo Classic is actually on the Benny's website. I think the Classic one you actually can only get on the Benny's. I think it's only the regular Virgo that's on like Legendary or whatever. Now it's called Virgo on the website, but I believe it's the same one here. Either way, it's got a customized example clearly. So that's what it's like, basically. It's one of those like lowrider kind of ones. Like many of the upgrades, it doesn't change the class. It's not one that changes the class like the Weevil. But yes, one is like the Weevil and like the... What's the other one I was thinking? Oh yeah, the Weevil and the Banshee. Those ones actually change class when you upgrade. This is one of many that don't change your class when you do the like Benny's upgrade. So it should start as a muscle car and it should end as a muscle car as well. And yeah, I can definitely say with confidence this is not going to be good performance. Don't get it for performance, you want it just purely for great customization. If that's kind of your thing, one of the most customizable vehicles. God damn it, I can't speak. Saying like vehicles, god damn it. One of the most customizable vehicles in the game. So that should be my thoughts on all of those, like if they're kinda good, kinda not. For sure, I'm gonna have to give the Banshee the #1 recommendation when it comes to Premium Deluxe Motorsport from best to worst. It's definitely easily the #1 option you could choose. And that's whether you're on 8th gen or 9th gen. It's even sweeter of a deal on 9th gen where you have HSW upgrade for the Sport class and you have the 900R for the Super class. That's one of the best top speed cars of the game. So you can never really go wrong with the Banshee, but you probably want to upgrade it in some capacity. Because the basic one is not going to be too great. Second one for me would either have to be the Baller ST or the Gang Burrito. I don't exactly remember how the Gang Burrito performs, but I'll probably give the Gang Burrito my #2. I'll probably give King Burrito the number 2 recommendation. I think it's kind of the second best option here because of its pretty unique classing. And the Van's class is not huge, so you're bound to get a somewhat usable vehicle. You're bound to get a somewhat usable You're bound to get a somewhat usable van at least. Huh. Keep turning V's into P's. Oh, goddammit. Number 3 recommendation would then probably go to the Baller ST, because I don't recall it being very terrible in the SUV class. It was free at one point, sure, which is why I dropped it down to free compared to the Gang Burrito. Otherwise, I probably would have made it number 2 if it weren't a free vehicle at one point. But this can definitely be at least serviceable for the SUV class, certainly. Number 4 would definitely go over to the Virgo Classic, just because it has Benny's customizations, I feel. Which means the absolute worst option here, I'm going to say, is definitely going to probably be the Chimera. Again, none of these are on full price, but if I were to choose just one, then definitely the Banshee for the 2 different amazing upgrades you can do to it. On 9th Gen or Banshee 900R only, where you don't have HSW Banshee. Yes.
Oh, I made a lot of noise. What? Who said that? Applause. A recession is growth opportunity.
Alright, can I see that little, like, Avenger, like, livery thing on here still on these?
Take a good look at
Nah, it seems that notification is period rip. It's on the news wire now. I know what it's like, but... want to make sure it was actually new.
I think he'll promote. Of course I can tell you about him some more. You know, on second thought, I can't really tell you about him. He's more like a friend than a boss.
But yes. But yeah. But yes. Jake, bro, can I finally speak? And then... Yeah, I was mainly trying to see if I could actually see the notification. I think when I first got in the game, I did get delivery. Because I swear it did say I did receive delivery, so it must be an entirely new livery, because I'm pretty much on this game every single event week at least once. Pretty much on every event week at least one time, so... If it was new for me, it's pretty much new for everybody, definitely, for sure. Just totally a new livery and not like an old one, so I might be updating the title after I do the stream, actually. Do like week editions then. It's like the name of the livery, but yeah. So let me go to my facility then, actually. Might even be the last time I have it in the facility, I don't know, honestly. I don't know. I don't know though, quite frankly, I might actually keep the Avenger in the facility. I'm gonna be quite honest, I feel I'll probably do that. I personally probably will do that, keep it in the facility. Cause I don't feel it belongs as much in the hangar. Unless though you can only modify it with certain things in the hangar, then I would probably put it in the hangar. Or you don't even need a property anymore, so they're basically removing the paywall. So you won't even need a property at all anymore, just like Kazake, you'll just be able to actually buy it outright, which is nice. So yeah, the Kazake you don't really store anywhere, it's just in the ocean. Or like a property, it's not like attached to your yacht or anything. So it needs to be more this way. About F4 down. But yeah, I seriously cannot believe how close that time trial was to me. I wasn't even like a second. I wasn't even like a second ahead of part time. I honestly almost thought I was going to have to go all the way back to start it all over again. But I got it by like a little over 250 milliseconds. I think that was pretty crazy. I was that fucking close, almost having to redo it for the 200,000 payout. Hopefully it was kind of like a good way of seeing like what to do on that time trial. Definitely gotta go pretty off-road on that, I would say, to make that time. It's probably one of the most off-road heavy time trials, I would probably say. Probably one of the most annoying time trials, to be honest. Definitely easily one of the most annoying time trials. But yeah, I believe they gave the Avenger a new livery since it is going to be gaining much more use in the San Andreas Mercenaries. I guess they figured they would release a new livery for it before the DLC, I guess, as well. Pink and green camo is above the hunting camo for some reason. I don't know if these are typically in like the exact order they release for these different free ones. Goddamn, has 10 free liveries in this raid, that's crazy. And that's right, I think it's just gun running liveries, yeah. It's for sure one of your more interesting options, I would argue here for sure. Gun running liveries are on so many fucking vehicles that they're not that interesting, I feel, for the ones that cost on this one. Kinda rate these goals a lot, like black color at least. Man, it's a pretty nice one. That one's definitely very nice. Galaxy. Not a big fan of a lot of the Christmas ones, honestly. I like tree camo on this one actually. Deck of Halls can be an okay one too on this available. It's definitely got quite the several like nice free liveries on there. Now apparently you can add pink and green as well, apparently. Yeah, pink and green camo is. I still prefer my hunting camo. I think that's definitely kind of my favorite one of the free ones. Yeah, I'm still definitely keeping it hunting camo for now. And yeah, I want to say, I think I remember there being like a blue livery on one of those like screenshots of like the weapons and stuff, so it definitely seems it's going to be getting new liveries in addition to what it got right now. That makes sense, it's going to be being used in the update again, it's probably going to have some kind of new livery. Okay, and did it say new because they're like already in the process of kind of updating the game? Interesting. But was it always called primary weapons? Okay, I don't know if some changes have already kind of happened with this, but it's still. Yeah, honestly, I don't really feel you'll be able to put another like, vehicle over there, whereas like a hangar, you can have all kinds of stuff in your hangar, so it's probably not going to be too worth having in the hangar unless you can only do the modifications in there. If you can only do modifications at the hangar for that vehicle for certain ones, then sure. Otherwise, it's probably just going to be best in your facility. Like it was earlier on. Oh shit. That's not expecting it. It's crazy for some reason. I don't mind just hanging around the facility actually for a while I talk about remaining like stuff in the event. Which would pretty much be money opportunities, like discount kind of stuff. So I'm not really around the facilities, I might as well hang around it. Yeah, sure, I'm not really around the facility often, so I might as well hang around for the rest of the stream or most of it. But yeah, starting off with some more money opportunities that were not mentioned previously. The San Andreas Flight School here will be one of them since there's a huge flight theme going on. It makes sense given the announcement of San Andreas Mercenary that happened a day or so later from the actual event week. But yes, Flight School. Quite frankly, repeat runs, I don't really feel paid that much on repeat runs. It's a pretty small money opportunity. It's like back during like summer 2014 or whatever, and it was pretty old. Not even a year into the game's lifespan, they introduced the fight school. So it's probably pretty shit for money making unless you're doing it each lesson for the first time, where I think there's a bonus amount of money. After those first times, it just usually don't become too worth doing, probably even on double money now. If you need to up your flight statistic or something still, then sure, maybe, but I'd probably go into like the first time bonus stuff and everything anyways. So even then, there's probably still only worth doing one time each. So that's probably not too worth your time and effort, unfortunately. Not compared to other things for sure, but something at least. At least something's going on with it for once, when it almost never has something going on with it. says something about air quota as well, but I want to say it's just a returning game mode and not a money opportunity, though. There should be certain aerial themed game modes that come back here, I believe. Alright, no target assault. Since it is month of June, there should be new game modes. There should be game modes coming back to look out for. Not new ones, but ones that came back. Alright, looks like no thruster races. Okay, yeah, no thruster races, which would have been a cool aerial theme one, but whatever. I don't think anything here really gets vaulted. Same with death matches, really. Yeah, I don't think captures get vaulted. I don't think LTS gets vaulted at all. Same machine hill. Obviously, no alien survivals and do not here. Any contact mission stuff that was removed was pretty much permanently removed. They never bring them back ever or anything. For some that existed back in like the 7th gen version of the game only or something. Versus mode is usually empty most of the time, so. For the month of June, you can replay Air Force 0 1 to 5, G rating cold 1 to 5, and G rating hot 1 to 5. Alright, so cold is weapons disabled, apparently hot is with weapons, okay. Seems pretty fun then. Being able to use like weaponized aircrafts on the hot one. In my opinion, that means cold is kinda trash then, unless that's your kind of thing, I guess. And yeah, that one could probably be a lot of fun. But it's not often where you get versus modes to play, so could be something worth doing. But they're not going to be very serious for money, and just play them for fun though. And yeah, air quota. Air quota, I think, is basically kill quota, but with aircraft. But yeah, kill quota is where you get a certain amount of kills of weapons, and then the weapons change. Air quota is basically, I believe, the same thing, but with air vehicles, which is a very damn cool concept, I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty cool. I think it's a pretty cool game mode. Contrary to the ratings, I do think it's a very cool game mode. Drop Zone. Yeah, Drop Zone definitely has. Yes, Drop Zone has definitely not been in here for a while, I could swear. Looks like Drop Zone 1 to 5 will be available for a limited time only for the month of June. Looks like you try to control drop zones, essentially. Yeah, I feel our quote is personally more funner, I would say. But again, it's there probably only for the month of June before it gets vaulted for who knows how fucking long. So if you want to play at all, now's the time to play it. Stockpile was already won over since it's a money opportunity. Best Job Remix has certain aerial ones in here. I could have sworn before they actually did remove SPG Job Remix, even though it was kind of one of the latest adversary modes they did. I think they did Avenger remove SPG Job. So I want to say you only have a limited time to play Vespucci Job as well. I know the Squeaky Job remix came out when the 9th gen version was a thing. but yes. I know the Squeaky Job remix was one of those like couple or so like RS remakes that came out after the 9th gen version came out. But even then, I think they devolved this one now, unfortunately. So I do think it's only around for the month of June before they vault it again. But yeah, there's definitely quite a couple different twists for different maps and stuff. I made like a whole video going over each map kind of at one point actually, which was pretty fun. It was a pretty fun like thing to analyze and whatnot. The different like 7 maps and shit. I feel 5 is honestly definitely one of the funnest ones. 3 kind of as well, just because it has Hunter Cat Choppers. But it's not as fun as 5 because it's a car, not a bike for the other player, I feel. And yeah, I think 7's kind of one of my favorite ones for sure as well. I like all those gimmicky ones personally. I think it's one that they vault now, I think. I think they vaulted it as a long while ago, kind of, in one of those. I think it is one of those they do, like, every once in a while. Yeah, there's like an aerial, like, maps and stuff, so my theory could be correct there. Yeah, obviously, for the, like, modes for the month of June, it's obviously going to be stockpile, and it's worth doing, because it's, like, the only one of those that's saved on a money opportunity. Of course, other ones will probably happen throughout the rest of the month. And yeah, parachuting was pretty much always a thing. I think they said they were going to take out parachuting, like, sea races and stuff at one point, and people needed to go for those trophies before they do so, but I don't think they ever ended up doing that, I believe. So I want to say parachuting's kind of permanent, even though they did try to remove them at one point for like the stuff they want to vault and whatnot for some reason. So I was all the returning game modes and stuff there. And yeah, I meant to do junk and release a skydive after I was done with the time trial, but someone was really in my way in real life, you know, obnoxious turd and shit, so I kinda forgot to do that. Plus I was surprised at the sound draw at the end. I was like, holy shit, like, only like 200 or 300 milliseconds, at least in my head I was like that, because I was disabling shit there, because someone was in my fucking way and shit, But yeah, it would have been the perfect moment to do that there, so I'll probably do it because I kind of meant to do it. I'm not one to really do it often. They change every single day, so there's definitely quite some variety with them. It's not going to be like the same kind of stuff, there's definitely some nice variety with it. Since the locations do change each day, I believe, so it's kind of a reason to do this junk and release guys every single day. Alright, yeah. 2 times money RP for junk energy skydives. Should probably like be called the Sparrow or whatever. Yeah. Hopefully I can do here, so that would be nice. I can't do the mini there, whatever. I do it good. It's been a while since I've done one of these, since I first released during the Crown and Prize or whatever the fuck. I like this shit a lot, but I don't do them often. It's like, they're probably not too worth doing. Over things like the data leak initiative, for example, where, okay, wow, that was quite the distance on that one, I feel. Oh god, okay, thank god I did the precision shit in there. Thank fuck I did the precision shit there. As soon as I make that one for 35 pretty easy, you're done. Not that I'm terrible at parachuting, I'm quite pro at parachuting, I feel, personally. There. Not difficult. And yeah, that's on double money, and it was only 10,000 apparently. I mean, they're quite simple, you shouldn't expect much more than that, really, for some very simple tasks and whatnot, but... Oh well. Skull is out, though. I think they're pretty worth. If you want to go kind of out of the way for them, it's kind of pretty worth. And they change every single day, so... gives even more incentive to do them, kind of, and not having the same ones each time. Like the ones in the pause menu, those don't ever change, honestly. Like every single day or anything. I would say that's probably more worth it than flight school, since you can do it right in free mode. Because I feel like flight school goes more into a separate. I feel flight school goes into more of like a separated free mode, whereas this is more like the proper free mode for the junk energy skydive I just did. So for sure, I would say it's probably better than flight school, at least for a money opportunity. Kind of stockpile as well, since you have to go into separate lobbies. It's kind of the best money opportunity so far that I've been mentioning of the latest like 10-20-ish minutes or whatever the fuck. And yes, once again, it looks like there's stuff of free mode events and challenges for money in RP, which is kind of strange because they did free mode events and challenges the last event as well. In fact, the last event I would even say was the main focus. They do say stuff about like aerial ones though. So maybe it's only like select free mode events. Maybe you don't get the whole rotation of them this time around. I don't know. I don't know if they disabled certain ones for the event, so you won't get like stuff like criminal damage or something. And it's more like air checkpoints, low flying challenge, any like sort of other like aerial kind of challenge, like free mode event kind of thing. So maybe you don't have like as much you can choose from this time for free mode events and challenges, but that's pretty much all I want to mention for all of that. It seems either aerial ones will be more often, or you'll only get like aerial themed free mode events. So it definitely sounds more restricted this time around. I don't want to mention too much more on it since I already had to talk a lot of it last week. But essentially, you need 6+ players, I believe, for them to start spawning in the free mode lobbies. If you have 1 to 5 players, then you won't be getting them. And even then, you have like business battles, which require 3 to 5 players, so the spawn frequency might not be the greatest. Usually during free mode event, like kind of events, they do increase the frequency a little bit, I think. At least. But yeah, I gave a lot more advice on free mode events and challenges, like very early on the last stream, for anyone who might be wanting to see something like that. But yeah, it says aerial activities, so it seems somewhat different for the Freeman events and challenges than it was last week. Last week was like everything, this week's aerial stuff, it seems. Again, for more clarity for why the 2 times money RP Freeman events is still kind of a thing. I would say air checkpoints is kind of the best like aerial theme one, so something like air checkpoints is probably the main one to look out for. I don't know if they really consider criminal damage in aerial one, unfortunately. When destroying aircraft is actually some of the most profitable ways of doing criminal damage. So yeah, probably air checkpoints would probably be the main one to look out for. Any other aerial one might just be alright in comparison. Okay, alright in comparison. And then, yeah. I mentioned a little bit of what I think is the best money opportunity, and it's not even flight related at all for the flight themed event. That they even have like hangar cargo on like 2 times or something, which would have been a whole lot better, especially with the pop and drug war than they did with the air cargo. But yeah, it involves the agency, and it's the data leaks or whatever. The data leaks Dr. Dre contract that pays the $2 million I mentioned earlier, and usually it pays $1 million, and it's like a couple hours worth. A couple hours worth of contact missions, kind of ish, that you do at your agency, like computer and stuff. Stuff like that only lasts like 2 hours. You're getting like $1 million per hour, kind of essentially with that. That's pretty damn good. And unlike Cal Preco, it's never received a nerf, I'm pretty certain either. Cal Preco has had nerfs, whereas the Dre contract never had a nerf whatsoever, certainly, as far as I've heard. The only downside, I believe, with data leak contracts is I think you cannot, like, skip cutscenes. Apparently you cannot skip cutscenes on those, apparently that's what I've heard. So it kind of does drag out the time on those, unfortunately, with a lot of filler and shit. And if it wants to, like, complete it, you should be able to skip the cutscenes. I think you can do that in certain things like heists and shit. I don't know why you can't do it there, but still. Data leaks Dr. Dre contract with very amazing money opportunity. One of the most amazing money opportunities to feel in the game, personally, which is pretty crazy. That's easily your best option. Everything else is child's play in comparison for the money opportunities. But yeah, that's for not all. It's basically just discounts at this point, and I want to do the HSW time trial with the Devastate HSW, which is the one I'm using here lately for my HSW time trials. So, starting off with the property discounts that were pretty apparent from the main menu, I want to talk a little bit more about it in more detail here, where I can show everything off. Yes, it looks like your cheapest hanger right now will be from 1.2 million down to $960,000. Again, you are only getting 20% off. Usually I feel when I do hanger sales, it's usually much more, but since now we know of Santos Mercenaries coming out, and the hanger is going to be a lot more utilized, because the hanger is going to be a lot more utilized, it makes sense it would only be as low as 20%, so that's why the discount, like, prices don't seem impressive. That's why, is because it's getting a lot more use next up. That's why, it's because it's getting a lot more use next update. Take fruit. I mean, this one here is the cheapest for Santos, by the way, but I won't be able to show that one since I own that one. $2,650,000 and $2,120,000. 530,000 like savings there. I mean, this one's definitely the most expensive. Looks like 650,000 savings at most on a hanger with 20% off. Yeah, unfortunately that's not very great, but again, it makes sense. It's being used a lot more next update. It makes sense it's not going to be a high percentage at all. It's even fortunate of them at all to be even putting them on a discount this close to the release, to be honest. And yeah, from there, you get complete cosmetic style upgrades and stuff for 20% off, apparently, for even like silly cosmetics, which is kind of weird. Cosmetics, I feel, should have been something more normal, to be honest, but might have been difficult to code or something if they did like the workshop for 20 and then living quarters 20 and then like everything else maybe like 30 or 40 or something. I don't know. And those are all cosmetic, clearly. These are definitely cosmetic as well. Living quarters is what you need to spawn at the hangar, and that's definitely what you want. You can do modern for a little bit of an upcharge there. But any sort of living quarters at all, I believe you need for the spawning capabilities of the hangar. And hangar is one of the best spawn properties of the game with all the crazy aircraft like convenience you get. Aircrafts, I think, makes them the best like spawn properties of the entire game. So having some of the most aircraft like access in the game in the hangar, I think honestly could even make it the #1 spawning property. I don't know if I would call it #1, but it's definitely in the top couple, I would say for sure. For spawning properties, I would say. And yeah, you need to hang. And yes, you need the workshop to be able to modify aircrafts, which is something you absolutely want to be able to do. Certain aircrafts you can only get at the hangar, so even further, you can only modify those at the workshop. And yeah, Pegasus ones, the ones from Pegasus don't really have much customizations. If you really only have Pegasus aircraft for some reason and you're not for some reason interested in the newer aircrafts that require a hangar, but there's so many good aircraft that do require a hangar, and there will be new ones coming out, it seems, for sure, for next update, like the jet I was showing like when I first loaded into the game and stuff. So you definitely want to be getting that. Those are definitely the main two. For 20% off the renovations, like I kind of mentioned all earlier. So I don't think the advice really changed, to be honest, from what I kind of already mentioned. But I do want to mention about location. I kind of forgot to mention that. Now, for the most part, I think it's pretty clear Ford Zancudo is going to be the location you want for the hangar. Since you can only own one location, I think Ford Zancudo is a nice one to have. I really hope next update they will let you own a second hangar. I'd personally rather own a second hangar than like more space at the existing hangar, to be honest. I think you can only like spawn vehicles in the airport here if you have a hangar there. So being able to have the spawn convenience at the airport and Fort Zancudo low clearance for next update if they let you own a second hangar would be tight as fuck actually. I think they should do like the apartments where they like certain updates that let you own more apartments. I think they should do that with the hangar. They should let you own more hangars like that instead of expanding the existing space. Because a new hangar would mean 20 more slots. 20 more slots would be very good for a long while. Let's say add a ton of aircrafts in next update, like more than like 2 or like kind of free confirmed so far, I think. But yeah, airport, that's for spawn convenience for vehicles. You can spawn vehicles at the airport, I believe, only if you have a hangar in there. Otherwise, you get the low level clearance pretty much, and vehicle spawning at Fort Zancudo as well. Fort Zancudo, I think, has 2 benefits over 1 benefit for LSI, so yeah, even more clear. Fort Zancudo's choice. And yes, Hangar used to be the worst business of the game. It's definitely been significantly buffed as of Drug Wars DLC, actually boosting the payouts by triple permanently on the cargo. Cargo, I think it used to be 10,000 per crate, now it's like 30,000 per crate, so it's been tripled like across the board. That includes like the bonuses and stuff, I believe, as well. So it's a damn good business actually, and you don't even have to pay for the crates. The only downside is as a solo player, it sucks because you can only do like 1 crate per mission. If they actually like source 4 crates as 1 player, that would be cool as hell. Even if you had to do like individual trips or something. I don't know. I mean, it still could be kind of worse business in terms of like gameplay, having only like 1 to collect as a solo player, like I mentioned, but the payouts are damn impressive now. It's hard to call it a bad business anymore. It used to be straight up bad compared to anything else, but now it's definitely, I would say, at least average to below average. And yeah, the crates are free. You don't pay for the crates, they're just a meter upside, and that's with them costing 30,000 and stuff now. And that's with them being 30,000 and shit now too. And now I want to talk about remaining vehicle discounts. Yeah, Benny's had a thing on here I've yet to talk about, and that is the Obey 10F. Obey 10F is a 30% off discount. So it'd be like 1.6 mil, it's like 1.1, like $500,000 discount around or off. Being on Benny's, the main incentive is definitely going to be the crazy customization. Now the one on discount is clearly the standard model here, but yeah. Then you have a separate Benny's upgrade option here for customized example, which is definitely very nice. Gives it some of the most sport car. Gives it some of the most like sport car customization in the entire game. And it seems to be the latest. And yes, it seems to be the latest like Benny's vehicle edition in the game as well. But yes, for sport class, regular 10F. Regular 10F is apparently in the very top of B tier for the sport class, according to Breathy 152 spreadsheet. Talk about this one, so I switched over to that. Very top of B tier, that gives it 16th place for lap time, and then 13th place for top speed. If you turn it into the wide body, it goes to like around bottom of A tier apparently. And again, this one will not be on a discount, it's just a stock model that's on discount, not the upgrade price as well. But if you do turn to wide body, it goes up 2 times for lap time, so from 16th to 14th place. And then you're actually getting 8th place for top speed, so you're getting within top 10 for top speed, which is pretty nice. I think it even becomes like number 6 for top speed for 8th gen, where you don't have the Banshee and like S95 HSW versions on the top for top speed, pretty much. So you're pretty much getting top 10 top speed regardless of platform for the sport class, which is pretty good. Pretty okay to decent, good, kind of, all. So that's a very high recommendation for the wide body version, like the custom version. Get the regular one, modify it to the custom, then you get some very alright top speed for the sport class. So it's not just good for customization, it can actually be good performance-wise too. I want to say there's one plane on discount for elitists in particular, so I'll go over that next since I'm going in website order. Alright, yes, the Nimbus, and then I think the rest of the planes are on Warstock. So, yes, the Nimbus here. Apparently, passive mode is disabled in it. I think the reason is he has those. I think the reason is you have like the computer, like tablet kind of things, and then I think you might be able to like smoke a joint, like maybe drink some shit in the plane. It's one of those ones with like the fancy interiors and shit like that, where you can like interact with them and whatnot. So it seems for that reason, passive mode is disabled in the Nimbus. So that is a disadvantage in the Nimbus. Passive mode is disabled. Besides for that, it is a Pegasus vehicle. Alright, yeah, Nimbus was Finance and Felony, that was 2016. I'm pretty sure like mid 2016. So I'll see what the performance is in the plane class for those interested. Probably not anywhere near the worst performance per se, I feel. Alright, the Nimbus here for the plane class. Apparently it's 16th place for lap time, and then it's 15th place for top speed. You're not getting within top 10 or anything for the plane class, lap time, top speed. So, discount there from 1.9 to 1,330,000. So you get $570,000 off of it. It looks like on 30% off. Okay. Agency's pretty much getting full. Okay. But yeah, if you want the Nimbus, you might as well buy it. It's Pegasus. Uh, I don't know what the hell my Schaefer did. It made a weird noise, I think. But yeah, you might as well buy it if you want it and you have a fuck ton of money to spend. Because Pegasus slots are actually infinite, essentially. As far as we know, there is no limited amount of Pegasus vehicles that could be made. Not that there's very many Pegasus vehicles these days anymore, ever since the hangar was a thing, I feel. But yeah, there's no limit to the amount of Pegasus vehicles that could be owned. You don't have the ability to sell Pegasus vehicles. You can buy as many as there exists, essentially. So you might as well buy it if you can afford it and have a lot of money left over for more worthwhile things in the game. So it could just give you another one of many aircraft options for Pegasus. You might as well, if you're a rich motherfucker. And back in the Caprica days, I was, and I'm not necessarily not rich anymore because of the nerfs and shit. There's still other good ways to make money and shit. Now, next one here looks like it'll be on Legendary Motorsport. Should be two-door, the X80 Proto, I think, from the Finance Pony DLC or some shit. Alright, yes. Also from Finance Pony, just like the Nimbus, the Grotti X80 Proto. It is actually one of your highest discount options at 35% off this event. So it goes from 2,700,000 to 1,755,000, $945,000 off. Very nice discount there, percent wise, and the amount of savings. And it's definitely in the supercar class, yes. I mean, I even looked at it on the newswires, it's totally supercar class. But yes. The X80 Proto. According to Bruffy1322 spreadsheet, X80 Proto is in the C tier. X80 Proto is in the C tier. C tier, making it 24th place for lap time apparently, and then 10th place top speed. Okay. X80 Proto seems like it can actually have some pretty nice top speed still if it's still within top 10. Certainly for sure in 8th gen it is at top 10. Spreadsheet still doesn't put into account like the DMT though, and then its HSW upgrade though. Because the spreadsheet has a fucking criminal enterprise, it's not as a drug war at all yet. So it's probably out of top 10 to be honest already when it comes to 9th gen. 8th gen, I do want to say it's still probably within top 10, top speed. So it could probably totally be one of those vehicles that's still good in 8th gen, but not very good much anymore in 9th gen. But either way, it does have some pretty nice top speed apparently for car class. Pretty expensive, so you get some pretty nice savings because of that. And the 35% off, is that like 30% off? And it looks like there will be 2 weaponized aircrafts for Warsaw Cash and Carry for discount. And from there, it will be like certain weapon discounts at the gun van pretty much covering that will be it for discounts. And then I'll be doing HSW time trial to finish off. But yes, starting off for worst stock discounts, the volatile is on a discount. And on a trade price, but yeah, 30% off on a trade price for volatile instead of being like 2.8 million, it is 1,960,000. Looks to be $840,000 savings here. And yes, this thing is a fucking gigantic ass fucking Dorito in the sky, essentially. These memes that people make of it, it's fucking hilarious. But yeah, big planes, big planes like the Mambushka, the Volatile, and the Alkanos, unfortunately, big planes, the Mambushka, Volatile, Alkanos, none of them are very super good at all, unfortunately. So yes, it's weaponized and stuff. It's not super great if you're not looking to use it for one of your 20 hanger slots. But yeah, right now there's only 20 hanger slots. If you have like 20 that aren't 20 aircrafts that are not the volatile that you want to store, then the volatile's not really too worthwhile. In that kind of sense, but yes. Weapon capabilities. Uh, For weapon capabilities, I think you just get these guns all across the plane, kind of like the Bombushka. The main difference between this and the Bombushka is the guns are not explosive, but it's significantly less cost, I believe, than the Bombushka. At least it was before price adjustments. I think even with the price adjustments, I think the Volatile is still cheaper, though, if I recall. But yes, the Volatile. Really, your main weapons are the guns on it, unfortunately, and that requires other players to use them. So it's not a very good solo aircraft. To get maximum capability out of it, you need like 2 to 4 players, whatever. Definitely. And yeah, really sucks the guns aren't explosive on there, they're like regular guns. Hell, in fact, I think I've even heard, in fact, I think I've even heard that the guns are actually glitched at the moment as well. They don't even work properly, apparently. So apparently the angles on the guns or something are like completely fucked right now. Same with the Bombushka as well, I believe. Which is why you didn't see like Bombushka Run Adversary Mode come back. We had a reason the Bombushka Run Adversary Mode never really came back, is I think there's a glitch with the guns right now, apparently. So you could have maybe brought back Bombushka Run, but there's a gun glitch with that shit where it doesn't work right. Same with the volatile, because it's pretty interesting guns just about. Because Rockstar in this game has all kind of glitches of the 10-year-old ass spaghetti code at least, maybe even more at this point. However, though, it's not all doom and gloom at that point. There are weapons that do work on this, actually, and it's the bombs. And there's actually a little bit of something special with the bombs and the volatile. It is the only aircraft in the entire game to have 100 bombs instead of 50 bombs. So you get double the bomb capacity of any other aircraft on this aircraft. So that does give it some nice unique utility, but yeah. As for the resistance of this vehicle, you only get a very tiny bit of armor, which is why big aircrafts do not do that well. I don't know why the hell this thing has almost no explosive resistance, honestly, when the guns aren't even explosive, and then the 100 bombs could have been using those all that well anyways. You are a big ass target, so you're gonna be getting hit by explosive sniper rounds real good if you even grief of this thing really, or some shit. Or someone just wants to fuck around with your shit. But it might die to one RPG, 3 explosive snipers, 3 homing rockets, I want to say, or something. It's nothing too crazy impressive or anything. It's kind of just some of your box standard armor, I believe. Might be some of the most bare minimal armor of any point in the game. I think definitely could have used a lot more armor. Totally could have. Oh, that same update to Doomsday Heist had the fucking Avenger, for fuck's sakes. And that's got explosive guns and everything, a whole lot more armor than this fucking volatile over here. Bruh. But yeah, good luck making much money with that when the main tool it has on its kit is fucking 100 bombs. I don't know what money you're gonna be making with 100 bombs, pretty much. And even then, helicopters tend to be some of your better money makers in the game for aircrafts in particular. And the last vehicle discount here will be the Pyro, apparently. This one's apparently only 20% off, similar to the hangar discounts. So one of the lowest discounts of the event. Instead of being 3,350,000 on a trade price, that'd be 2,680,000 on a trade price. So I think 670,000 would be the savings in that case. Almost $700,000 for 20% even is not very durable per se. But yes, I can definitely confirm this one's a lot better than the volatile, that's for damn sure. Yeah, it's definitely much better than the fucking volatile. Has machine guns on it. The regular machine guns, though, they're not anything super crazy impressive. It could be good for dogfights or against like enemy like aircrafts, obviously for the guns. But the gun usage will be practically non-existent for ground combat, I would argue, for the most part. But it is aircraft after all, to be fair, so that kind of makes sense. And then you definitely get missiles on this as well. Missiles are nothing impressive pretty much on typical aircrafts. Aircrafts pretty much always have standard tracking missiles. You never really get any of the better tracking missiles on the aircrafts like you do for the land vehicles. Though being an aircraft, it does get unlimited missiles as well. So being an aircraft, it does get unlimited homing missiles, so it'll never run out. Whereas pretty much all the land vehicles, you pretty much have some kind of limit, regardless of how good the tracking on them are, pretty much. Unless it's like the fully loaded Rutner, or the Tordor. I think are like the only two land vehicles that are kind of infinite as well. But yes, Pyro is definitely also one of the fastest vehicles in the game. One of the fastest jets in the game. I believe it's also the only two-seater jet in the game, so that's pretty unique. Only two-seater jet in the game can definitely give some nice utility. Even that one in the image is apparently a one-seater, so that's not going to be two-seater either for the new one that's coming out for that jet. If there's one thing this does lack, it's probably bombs, to be honest. I don't think it has bombs. I think it for sure has the machine guns, obviously, and then missiles, though. Yeah, definitely one of the most, like, versatile, like, jets and shit in the game. Definitely some of the best speed you can get in an aircraft. So definitely can be very damn nice for money making in certain circumstances. For like some of your like smuggle run like cargo missions and stuff, for example. And yes, last but not least should be the weapon stuff for the gun van to cover, aside for me just doing HSW time trial, really. I'll start with the non-discount ones first, and then talk about the two on discount, depending on if you have the subscription or not. Basically, basically, yes. Yes, basically, yes. But yes. The Mark 1 pump shotgun, not the Mark 2, but the Mark 1, because you don't get Mark 2s over at the gun van and directly. Of course, it's going to be absolutely worth picking up the Mark 1 so you can get the explosive slugs and stuff for your pump shotgun Mark 2. So pump shotgun's very damn nice to get because it's one of two with a Mark II upgrade that do get the explosive options similar to the heavy sniper. So pump shotgun definitely very nice. Carbine rifle is a Mark II upgrade, and that's definitely a very nice one to get. But again, it will be Mark 1 because you can only get Mark 1s at the gun van. Definitely make sure to mark 2 it. Even if you keep standard rounds, you should mark 2 it probably anyways for maybe better damages, better accessories, and stuff you can equip and whatnot. But yeah, this could definitely be one to be worth having as standard round so you can refill it through like contact missions and like lobby screens and whatnot. For sure, possibly. Knuckle Duster. Yeah, the Knuckle Dusters here. I think you can actually use the Knuckle Dusters underwater, which is actually one of the more noteworthy things aside for all the different liveries and stuff on it. It was actually like the first like huge melee weapon I believe to have like liveries, but yes. I think it was like the first melee weapon to have like a lot of different like liveries and stuff to it back from like old Octon games like part like 1 or 2, whatever, but only on like 8th gen and 9th gen. I don't think it was a thing on 7th gen like that though. But yeah, I think you can actually use this underwater, which is actually a pretty unique thing. So it could be one of your better options for underwater combat, I believe. I'm not sure if it would be better in like a knife or like antique cavalry dagger for underwater combat though. If it even really matters what weapon you use on those, really. The AP pistol is in the gun van right now. AP pistol, and that's basically your fastest rate of fire you get on a pistol in the game. It's honestly probably even better than micro SMG. It's probably even better than micro SMG to be honest for like a drive-by weapon. So it's probably probably one of your best drive-by weapons of the entire game. There is a new tactical SMG that's actually coming out for the San Andreas Mercenaries DLC that sounds like it can be maybe the new best drive-by weapon. But we'll have to wait and see like how good it is for drive-by stuff in the game. For sure. Minigun. Minigun is at the gun van. Before the railgun, it was like pretty much the only like bullet heavy weapon in the game. And yeah, counting the Widowmaker is pretty much the same thing as the minigun. It's basically literally a reskin minigun with just cosmetic difference. Huh. Yeah, it's just a reskin minigun. So I count as like the same thing. So yeah, before the railgun was the only bullet-related heavy weapon. Even then, it's the only like heavy weapon with like standard bullets, not explosive bullets. If you're big on that kind of type of heavy weapon for some reason. Honestly, I feel with the railgun, it's a little bit outclassed now. Railgun, you can actually easily obtain that ammo for like an ammo box. But yes, you can actually get railgun ammo pretty easy for like an ammo box that you can just spawn next to your feet and just see a mini for $1,000 or even for free with the subscription. You can refill the ammo that way, surprisingly. So it kind of makes the minigun obsolete, I feel, kind of, unless you just need a faster rate of fire and more like bullets shooting at one time, perhaps. So like it's definitely very unique in some regards still to be totally worth using still. And then last but not least for non-discount weapons, it's the flare gun. Flare gun, when it initially came out, well, it could not when it initially came out, it could not make missiles go to the flare, but yes. Very nice utility weapon as the smugglers run up the onward. It can actually make missiles go to where your flare goes. Wasn't a thing until before Smuggler Run, because Smuggler's Run was what added the flares on actual aircrafts. Whereas this weapon existed since the Heist DLC. Back on 7th gen, where it didn't really have that kind of feature. That version never even had that feature, sadly. It was only 8th gen, 9th gen thing with the Smuggler Run update. Added the ability for it to counteract homing missiles, whatever the fuck I should say there. Very damn nice utility weapon, totally worth picking up. Even if you don't use it that often, it could be a nice utility weapon nevertheless. For throwables, it's also going to be your Molotovs. Gee, my grenades completely disappeared suddenly.
Yo, just stay chilled, alright?
Interesting. I don't know why my throwables sometimes disappear suddenly, but okay. All the fucking ammo glitches in this fucking game, for fuck's sakes. Yes, you get your standard Molotovs that you cannot get anywhere else at the gun van. That's still a thing, of course. And then you get sticky bombs and pipe bombs, which I think are some of the other couple I actually still have on my character that didn't just randomly disappear on me. Sticky bombs are pretty much the best throwable. Pipe bomb, it's basically like a safer grenade, I believe, kind of. Probably not as risky to use as like a grenade, if I recall. And as for that, obviously armor. Now for the ones on discount. Honestly, I gotta say the day one discount both seem pretty shit. I'll start with the one that's for everybody, and then I'll go into the newswire order. So I'll start with the Widowmaker. Like I said, the Widowmaker is basically just a reskin of the miniguns. Everything I already mentioned on the miniguns applies to the Widowmaker as well. Of course, it has a different sound and shit. That's kind of a little more effort. But aside from that, it's literally just a reskin minigun. Has 4 holes on it too, for fuck's sakes, and it only shoots one stream of bullets, I believe, too. Now, if I actually shot multiple volleys of bullets compared to a minigun being one stream of bullets, then that would actually be significant, but I feel, or at least a little bit, at least it would be different, but yeah. The only reason you would want this over minigun is if you're not rank 120, essentially. It's basically a minigun for low rank players, essentially, is it? And even then, the gun van has a minigun right now. And the gun van doesn't have any rank restrictions either, I'm pretty sure. So really just get whatever one's cooler to you really right now, since you're both in the gun van anyways. Not too worth getting both. Definitely not too worth getting both of them. But yeah, that was 35% off, but for the Plus subscription only. So only 9 people will get it on discount, and only as subscribers to GTA Plus. And yes, the general weapon discount is not really much better. It might even be worse. And it's 25% off, and that will be the precision rifle. Yes, precision rifle. Very terrible, infamous weapon released during the Colonel Enterprise DLC in 2022. Yes, that same update that gave a very good service carbine gave an actual really shit weapon with the precision rifle. But yeah, it's basically a copy-paste sniper rifle. It's basically a copy-paste sniper rifle without the scope, essentially. There's not even one attachment on it either. No attachments at all. Not even like a lock-on scope. Not like a full-on scope like a sniper even, but at least like maybe a lock-on scope or something, like a scope to look through or some shit. It's not really an attachment at all. It's the same exact damage and stuff, I'm pretty sure, as the sniper rifle being a reskin. So body shots aren't going to be killing. I get it's called a precision rifle, but for headshot stakes, makes sense being called precision rifle, but you can headshot with any weapon, and any weapon headshot will kill, so why would you use this thing over, like, an assault rifle or something that has a better rate of fire? So they're only using this for precision headshots, and it's not a great rate of fire or anything? What were they thinking when they made this weapon? I don't know. Not saying it didn't exist necessarily. I mean, I might have kind of suggested that, but I can see why maybe it's a thing, but it's gotta be one of the worst weapon releases in the game. Only get it if you want to complete your weapon wheel, and don't get it for really any other reason, I would say. But yes, that is truly going to be everything when it comes to the event right now. Oh, still here from Junk and Reese Skydives, I think, them. But yeah, that was basically it for the event week side of things. I just wanted to HSW time trial from here, and I'll be done. First of all, before that, I want to actually get my... What the fuck? Yeah, I always get scared because me going to the helicopter, I'm so fucking confused. I wasn't like even going into it when it happened, I think. Yeah, first of all, I want to go to my agency, I think, so I can get the cash. So it's actually a good time maybe to show off how you get to that data leak. That was mentioned earlier, that's the best money opportunity of the event week. Being 2 million instead of 1 million for that medallion mission. Nothing else during the 7-week peaks Definitely not. Totally. I think it's gonna peak at like 2 million in a couple hours during this event. Just ain't gonna happen.
What's up, boss? Stay safe, boss.
Alright, hit 50 million again, which is like the bare minimal amount like to hit for an update. 50 million is usually done like pretty fine no matter the update, summer or winter, basically.
I'll be here.
Quite frankly, I feel the summer one's definitely looking crazier than this winter one, which is pretty fucking sad now. Still, so usually winter updates are supposed to be huger, not summer ones, but in this case kind of feels like the opposite. I guess technically you're supposed to compare it to the previous summer update for Drug War, but still. Oh, I meant to show that thing where it's kind of obvious it's in that same room when you get on that like computer though, but still, for those that might not be as familiar, perhaps. Probably gotta go see you for this. Pretty sure you do.